तत्परम्पर्यये विद्महे ज्ञानलिङ्गेश्वराय धीमहि तन्नो गुरुः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ योगमहर्षि डॉक्टर स्वामी गीतानंद गिरि गुरु महाराज की जय। ज्योति or light has always been very important in traditional cultures, because the traditional cultures realize that there are multiple dimensions in which we exist, not just the physical dimension that we are all aware of. And the traditional cultures all over the world had a reverence for light. Light was symbolic of growth. Light was symbolic of an elevated consciousness. Light was symbolic of an aspirational, motivational destination towards which one would move. As the Vedic mantra tells us, Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritangamaya. In all of those statements, Asat to Sat, Tamas to Jyoti, and Mrit to Amrit. In all of them, the common refrain, the common thread running is a thread that we are moving from a place of darkness, ignorance, and limitation. Darkness, ignorance, and limitation. We aspire to move into a place of lightness, reality, and freedom. A beautiful journey is constantly the refrain, because we always talk about looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. We talk about the silver lining on the dark cloud. Because what does it give us? Light gives us hope. And I think we, as a human race today, we need hope. Hope springs eternal in the breast. And especially at this point in human history, we need hope. We hope that the light will open up the consciousness of humanity. That the light will enable us to see what we are, what we can be, and enable us, guide us to move from what we are to what we can be, manifesting our potential. In Indian tradition, we had the concept of Sura Asura. The Sura are the gods, the Devas. The Devas are the lovers of the light. The Asuras are those who despise, hate, and run away from the light. This is why the Indian culture always had the concept of getting up in the morning before the sun would rise and experience that sunrise, which is the uplifting energy. The asuras always want the darkness. And asuras, the demons, the devils, have always existed. Because you cannot have light without darkness and darkness without light. So the opposite has always coexisted. And it will coexist. There will always be those who despise the light. There will always be those who are afraid of the light. There will always be those who are very, very happy being in a dark, ignorant, limited place. Because then they don't have to see anything. That is a state of consciousness which is where people are sleepwalking through life. And this is where often power is, because power is based on ignorance. If you can keep the masses ignorant, the masses are going to always be there with you. If you give them their own torchlight, they may start going off in their own directions. And none of these people who are based on power, money, organization, none of them want people to have that. And so what do they say? They say the light is dangerous. Very much. The fear. The fear of the light is very big issue, Terry. Fear of the light is a very big issue. Because with light comes responsibility. With light comes responsibility. And that is why once the light of yoga is ignited in us, we have the responsibility to keep it going. There is a concept of an unbroken light, where the light is kept without it coming out, becoming, losing itself. And this is one of the very important traditions in our Kamliswami Madam, that the light should be kept alive at all times. People often think it is the physical light. It's not just the physical light, it's the light within, because the light requires effort. Darkness doesn't require effort. So you know which one most people will choose. The path of least effort is what most people choose. If you ask someone, there are 3 ways you can do something, they'll say, which is the easy way? Which is the way that I don't have to put up too much effort? And so people choose. They choose darkness over light because it's easier. It's easier to be part of sheeple. It is very easy to be part of the herd. It is very easy to be part of the ignorant mass. Because when the light comes on, you can no longer be part of that. And it becomes tough. This is why once a person awakens in yoga, life becomes a bit more tough actually. Because till then you didn't even think about these things. You were just living a conditioned, samskaric life. And you were just doing what everybody did, being like everybody else. That rat in the rat race, the dog in the dog-eat-dog world. And suddenly you wake up, you see the light. And when you see the light, you start to see yourself in a different light. You realize you are not that perfect being you thought you were. You realize you have pains that you didn't know you had. This is why that light, the Guru, as the dispeller of darkness, shedding the light. And what does the light have to do? The light just has to be. The light just has to be. Because darkness cannot exist in the presence of light. Darkness cannot exist in the presence of light. Light doesn't have to chase darkness away. Light just has to be. The concept of jo-thi is this inner light. Now, once you see things differently, you have the responsibility to change. That is why the grand rishis, they were the ones who could perceive. They are called the seers, the ones who could see. And you say, yeah, before that also people had eyes, they could have seen. People had eyes, but those eyes were not seeing. It is like I'm always talking about the ears. You know, the ears hear. Do they listen? Hearing is automatic. Listening is a choice. You make a choice to listen. That is why my father used to say, he said, you know, in the Christian tradition, it is said, the chosen ones. The chosen ones. And my father used to say, it's not the chosen ones, it's the ones who choose. The ones who choose. The concept of this light is a very beautiful concept in Indian tradition. Arutperum jo-thi, Arutperum jo-thi, Thanik perum karunai, Arutperum jo-thi is how Ramalinga Vallala in Vadalur, about 80-90 minutes from Pondicherry, his teachings were of the light, and they keep the light going there. Again, one of those great spiritual giants who his own students and fellow devotees couldn't understand. And after all of these teachings, amazing teachings, that beautiful light he talks about, that light that illuminates, that has compassion. For him, the light was symbolic of the divine. So the divine not in any form. Again, Indian culture has all the opposites within it. It says you can have a divine which has form, which has gunas, sa-guna. So the saguna is the form of the divine that has the gunas. So you can say this is what Ganesha looks like. He is pot-bellied, he has one tusk, ekadantam chaturhastam pasamankusadharinam abhayam varadam hastam bibhranam mushikadvajam raktam lambodham shurpam karnakam raktavasasam raktagandhanu liptangam raktapushpai supujitam bhaktanukambinam devam jagat karanamachyutam avirbhutam cha shrishtyatho prakriti purushatparam evam dhyayena yo nityam sayogi yoginam varaham Om namo bhradapadaye namo ganapadaye nama pramadapadaye namaste astu lambodaraye ekadantaya vigna vinashine shivasutaye shri bharadamurtaye namo namah. And that is how you describe the saguna form of Ganesha. The saguna. These are his characteristics. Ekadantam chaturhastam, one tusk, four hands. Pasham ankushadharinam, having the pasha and the ankusha. Abhayam varadam hastam, bibhranam mushikadvajam. Mushikadvajam. The flag is of the mushika, his vahana. These are descriptions. He has red sandal paste. He has red flowers, red clothes. You know that this Ganesha is from Maharashtra. Because in Maharashtra, Ganesha is totally red. Amazingly red. The Ganesha worship in Maharashtra is amazing. I think the fondest memories of my times in Maharashtra doing my medical studies in Varda was a very, very beautiful Ganesh Utsav. The 10 days of celebrating around Ganesh Chaturthi with amazing times. Ganapati, Babba, Moriya, Ucha, Varshi, Laukariya. Ganesha, see you, bye-bye, come back next year. Sa Guna. These are the attributes of the divine with form. But then you have the other, Nirguna, the formless form, the nameless name. That which is beyond our description. Because the gunas are part of Prakriti. The gunas are part of Prakriti, so there can be a description. It is red, it is white, it is blue, it is dark, it is light. These are all descriptive terms that are part of Prakriti. They are part of the manifest world. So they are part of the gunas. But then you have to go beyond the gunas. That's where Kaivalya occurs. Pratiprasava. The gunas have to go back and involute into themselves. That is when Kaivalya occurs. And you have become Nirguna or Guna Atita. You have transcended the gunas. That is the Nirguna form. So when Ramalinga Vallala Arudperunjodi, Arudperunjodi, Thaniperum Karunai, Arudperunjodi, 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 Thaniperum Karunai, Arudperunjodi, 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 Thaniperum Karunai, Arudperum Jyoti. When he talks of that Jyoti is beyond this. And that is why Patanjali, Maharishi Patanjali tells us that this Jyoti is very, very vital. He says, you have to contemplate that light, that Jyoti. Now the problem is when I say the word light, you think of a tube or you think of a bulb. Now imagine, because a tube or a bulb, yes, Suman, superhero Pat. One of these days I'm going to get in trouble for that. People are going to think that I am being disrespectful towards Maharishi Patanjali, who to me is he's just my Atma itself. So I cannot be disrespectful towards him. But what I'm saying in a very, very heartful connection to him. I feel very deeply connected to Maharishi Patanjali. A very, very dear one. And as Aishwarya and Radu in the interview with Divya last night was saying, Aishwarya said a very beautiful term. She said, very, very beautiful term she said, yoga is my best friend. Such a beautiful way to relate to yoga. Not as something you do, but as your best friend, who's always with you in thick and thin. When I think of Patanjali, that's what he is. Every thought, word and action, he's with me. That's the type of connection. That's why when I say superhero Pat, it comes from that affection. Maharishi Patanjali, he tells us we need to contemplate this beautiful light. It is a light that doesn't have a cause. Now here, this is the thing, that just as we have the concept in Anahata of a sound that is not made, this is a light that is not made, that is just existing. This is a key point here, because when I say sound, you say, oh, who made it? When I say light, you said, oh, what is the source? Is it a battery? It is a bulb? A neon light? The light from the mobile phone? The light from the computer? The light from the sun? We are always thinking of light as the effect of something that is causing it. Okay? We are thinking of light as something has caused it. But imagine a light that doesn't have a cause. It is just light. Imagine a sound that doesn't have cause. It's just a sound. That is the concept of anahata. So the jo-thi is not just any light. This is what I wanted to stress on today, because the next few sessions we are going to work on this concept of jo-thi and the jo-thi dharana, jo-thi dhyana, which is a contemplation on the light. That with effort and with the blessings of the divine, again as Aishwarya reminded us yesterday, with the blessings of the divine we can worship the divine. Avan arulale avan thal vanangi, our great saints in Tamil culture have told us. We are going to be working on this concept. So what I want you to understand is this jo-thi is not just any light. Even from a candle, Manjari, candle, the diya, because all of those are source. See, these are the external light. We are talking, when we talk of jo-thi, we are talking of an inner light that has no cause. It is without beginning, without end. That is why at Thiruvannamalai, the Mount Arunachala, it is said Shiva appeared as a column of fire to test Brahma and Vishnu and to sort of attenuate, mitigate their arrogance. There are a lot of stories in our Puranas that have metaphoric meaning. Shiva appears as a column of fire, and that is why Mount Arunachala is associated with the Agni, the Tejas, the fire element. And the lingam there is the Tejo lingam, the fire lingam. So it is a sthala, it is a abode of the Tejo lingam, the lingam of fire. And it is said this column of fire that Shiva appears as. What is Shiva? Auspiciousness, pure consciousness, goodness, that which was good, is good, and will be good. This fire column appears, and Brahma and Vishnu, they say, we will find the beginning and ending of it. So Brahma takes on the form of a swan, Hamsa, and he starts flying up to find the end of the column of fire, the end of Shiva. And Vishnu takes on the Varaha Avatara, the wild boar form, and digs down into the earth to find the origin, the beginning of the fire of Shiva. Now, I've already told you, Shiva as pure consciousness, as auspiciousness, as evolutionary transformation, has no beginning, has no end. The words that are there are Anadi, Ananta. Two words you need to keep in mind when we talk about these concepts. Anadi, Ananta. Adi means beginning or the source. Anadi means without beginning, without source, without a cause. It exists without a cause. It just exists. It is just being. Anadi. Ananta. Anta means end. Ananta means without end. So that which exists without beginning, and no end. The transformatory evolutionary process is one that has no beginning, has no end. It just is. I-S. It just is. Is. All is well. Huh? There's a very famous movie in India called The Three Idiots. It was then made into Tamil as Friends. All is well. I think it was must have been a remake of some other movie that I don't know of, but is. There's no was, there is no will be. Is. Anadi Ananta. And naturally, Brahma and Vishnu, they fail in their efforts. The egos get an egodectomy. Egodectomy was my father's specialty. He said, by the time he started teaching yoga and all, he said, I stopped doing surgeries. He said, I stopped doing surgeries. The only one I still do is egodectomy. And egodectomy without anesthesia. And man, he was good at it. My father was really good at it. The transformatory process has no beginning, no end. It is never ending. It is infinite. That is why coming back, Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya, all are moving from the finite to the infinite. All are moving from limitation to unlimitation. All are moving from a state of dullness, ignorance, to a state of lightness and wisdom. That is why the Guru symbolizes the light that gives us wisdom. We'll continue with this exploration of the concept of jo-thi, of light, and work it into the jo-thi dharana. The jo-thi dharana, which is so important. Adiyum mandamum illa Arutperum jodhiyai yam pada keteyum Valtadangan made valandiyo Arutperum jodhi Taniperum karunai Arutperum jodhi. We end for today. This is infinite. This is never ending. So let's see where it takes us. And for those of you who are wondering what online course I'm doing next, well, I think I have decided it has to be Adhikara Yoga, the foundation of yoga based on Yama Niyama. So watch out for the details in the next few days, whether it's going to be 5 sessions, 50 sessions, or what? An exploration of the Yama Niyama as the foundations that make us an adhikarin, someone who's fit for the highest life of yoga. Have a wonderful time wherever you are.